All right, everybody. Zach Wagner here from Wagner PT and Performance, and I just want to get on and share with you some of my thoughts about rehab, performance, fitness in general, about how you can get healthy, stay healthy, and really live your best life. So today I want to talk about power training. Most people think of power training for athletes, for younger people, and it is that, of course, because we're looking at sports performance, we're looking at athleticism, things like that. However, while we're going to talk about that, we're also going to talk about why power matters even more as you get older. Okay. I'm going to share some videos and talk through some of this stuff. So here we have a video of one of our athletes doing a broad jump. Now, this is a college-bound soccer player, very good athlete, and he's showing us a really nice broad jump here. However, what I want you to think about is what this shows this athlete can do. Yes, it shows he's powerful. Yes, it shows he can jump far. But even more importantly, and why I care about it for him especially, is that he can stop on a dime, right? He can jump and stop, right? He has good form, good landings. His feet don't shuffle. His weight is well distributed. So power is both about can you explode through a movement and then also can you stop, right? In many ways, the athletes who have the most athleticism and look, the most explosive on the field, yes, it's because they are fast and explosive, but even more so, it's that factor that most people would call quickness, meaning can you stop and change direction quickly? That's more of this deceleration piece of can you stop yourself, change direction, change body angles, that kind of stuff. So we love things like a broad jump because it teaches our athletes how to do that and shows us whether they can do it or not, and if we need to train that a little bit more. Okay. So, of course, we care about power in that sense, and we want people of all ages, whether they're younger, middle aged, older, whatever, we want them doing power training. Okay. I want to talk about why that's so important as we move into middle age and beyond, right? So, it is one of the most important parts of a training program, but it's one of the first things that actually gets taken out of most training programs. And really because it's people don't know how to integrate it in a way that feels safe, that feels comfortable for them. So they just stop doing it. And then of course you don't train that quality, so you lose that quality, right? So I want to go through some of the exercises that we will use to train power in people who maybe aren't as used to training power, and then talk about why it's so important. Okay. So what we're going to do, just start with this one right here, right? Okay. So this is a step down. Okay. What does this have to do with power? All right. What it does have to do with power is it's what we call eccentric loading, meaning can they, can somebody lower themselves down? The force a muscle is expressing as it lengthens. So this is quad specifically, a couple other things going on, but lowering yourself down. What a lot of people have issues with as they get older is can they go downhill? Can they go down steps? That kind of stuff. Some of that is can you control your body weight as it comes down, right? So this is not technically a power exercise, but helps to build that eccentric strength, that strength that we get. So deceleration, slowing yourself down, is eccentric, meaning again, as your muscle lengthens, it's expressing force. So going down the stairs, that kind of stuff. All right. So we'll start with things like this a lot of times to help people understand what this feels like, what it looks like, and then we'll move on. Okay. To help people generate power, we'll do things like a med ball slam, right? And this obviously biases more towards the explosiveness and the generation of the power, but it does still have some deceleration components because you have to stop yourself from just falling forward. You have to create power to throw the ball, and then you have to stop yourself from just smashing your face into the ground, right? So, and this is a safe way, fun way to do this, where we have people literally of all ages do this stuff because it's just a good thing to train yourself to move faster. So then this is how we start to help people work on explosiveness and a little bit of deceleration. And then if we want to look at even more deceleration, what we will do is look at things like a drop squat. So we are taking our weight up, coming up on the toes with arms up overhead, and then we're essentially stomping down. Okay. So it is working on the landing of a jump before we actually jump. So if people need to rebuild the brakes, or we'll say building the brakes, this is a great way to do it because it's teaching you to stop quickly, right? But again, accessible because it's not a jump, it's a landing, right? So this works really well to kind of reintegrate that. And then what we'll do after people are comfortable with something like this is we will then take them to something like this, which is called a depth landing. Again, you don't actually have to jump. You just step off a box, but then the cue is to stop yourself on a dime, right? Can you stop quickly, right? But this takes more force. Obviously you can just jump and land as well, but this is a way to help just build this piece of it, which is again the thing that a lot of people are missing. All right. So lots of options there. But again, the point being, there is a way to train power effectively, no matter who you are, no matter where you are across the lifespan. And how I want to bring this home is just talking about why it matters. Obviously, a younger athlete, somebody who is playing sports at a high level, we train power because you see them express and use that power all the time on the court, on the field, whatever they're doing, right? So yeah, of course it matters. But as you get older, we know that power declines very quickly. And when you think about something on the other extreme end from a young, high level athlete, somebody who has a hard time getting in and out of a chair, they're in their 70s, 80s, and beyond, or younger, depending on the person. They can't get out of a chair. They can't step down. They can't go downstairs, or they can't stop themselves from falling. That's a really good example, for example. So think of what happens a lot of times when people will fall when they're older is they will lose their balance one direction, but then they can't put their foot in the ground and stop themselves, right? So balance training, for example, is useful, but the way we think about balance training for a lot of people is that they're coming back from a surgery or they're older and we're just working on getting them feeling more confident, is we want them to learn to express force quickly, right? You have to be able to stop, put your foot in the ground and stop yourself from moving. That is what will stop you from falling. Everybody's going to lose their balance at some point. Everybody's going to trip. Everybody's going to miss a step. But if you can't express force quickly, that's when you'll get the stumble, repetitive stumble, and then the fall, right? Whereas if somebody can learn to stop, step all these directions and stop themselves, that's what's going to prevent you from falling and doing things like breaking hips, ending up in the hospital, that kind of stuff. So yes, we work with athletes a lot. We work with young, healthy people. We work with people who are doing CrossFit. We work with people who are doing very high level sports. But another big thing that we really care about is helping people live their best life as long as possible, right? So being capable of doing things like getting out of a chair, going down the stairs, stopping yourself from falling as you get older, that is a motivating factor for a ton of people as they move from, I want to look a certain way, I want to perform a certain way when you're younger, to I want to enjoy my life as I get older. I want to be able to spend time with my family. I want to enjoy the activities that I like to do. I want to spend time with my grandchildren, whatever it is. So the principles are the same across the lifespan. It's just how we're applying them. And I think a lot of people can understand how to apply them with a younger athlete, but helping somebody who hasn't done any of this kind of training in 5, 10, 20 years start to work it into their program so they can feel strong, powerful, and capable, that's a huge thing. So if you are not doing power or athleticism training of some kind in your programming, think about how you can work that in. And if you need guidance, if you have questions about how to do that, go ahead and comment. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to reach out. This is the stuff that we love to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps to kind of show you why power is important. And hope all of you are well, and we'll see you soon.